All right, guys, welcome back. So this is where I'm at right now. I've made two side panels to hold this guy. Obviously, this is not a finished product, but I wanted to show you what I did. So let me put down the phone. So I actually found online these STL files for 22 millimeter bearings. So I printed out four of these, and and oops, I wanted to. Wait a minute, let me get this magnet out of the way. So I knew I couldn't print a base or I couldn't print sidewalls or a stand for this guy. Hold on a second. I need to make sure I have it the right way. So I got acrylic. So basically everything on this motor is going to be 3D printed except for the magnets, the bearings, and the two acrylic walls. And so I decided to make them like this. And the reason why, and this is, I think, 1/2 inch or 3/8. I think it might be 3/8. The reason why I chose this design was so that I can mount stuff on these, on this sort of octagon pattern. So if I want, I can mount a coil here, here, if I want to do that. If I made it just round or just a straight pyramid shape, it would have been tough. And so I'm going to put two of these, one here, and then one on the other side, so that it will be pretty stable. At least I think that's what I'm going to do. Because this thing is kind of heavy, and I want to make sure that I have good support. Now I will attach this to some sort of a base, and I'll put what do you call those, like trusses or side supports on it that'll come down. They'll be like small triangles to hold it nice and sturdy. But yeah, that's where I'm at for this guy here. And it is sweet. I can't wait to get it running. And like I said earlier, I have these, I think they're here. I have these ceramic bearings. Come on. And these ceramic bearings are nice. They fly. And I've got a bunch of them. So I just need 4 if I'm going to choose to do it on both sides. So like I said, I'll have one here. And then I'll have one over here. And this guy will fit on there perfectly. What I'll do is I'll print out like a spacer that'll go from the wall here to the inside of the bearing, so that, it'll stay the right distance apart. And I'm going to make it as wide as one of these coils, either the Sky Collection coil. So figured it'll be like this. All right. What I wanted to do was make it so that it would be like this. Oh, you guys can't see that. Here, hold on a second. Let me lower this down. So I'm going to make it so it'll be either like this or like this. But I think this way is going to be too wide. So I'll have to figure it out. What I may do is split the difference so that it can go in there on an angle. Actually, I think this way will be fine. So I'll make it something like that. I'm not really 100% sure. Again, this way, going the wide way, may be too wide for this, even though this carbon fiber rod is pretty stiff. So I'll have to experiment around. Let me try something really quick while I got you guys here. Let me put one here, and then let me put one here. And then I'll have to see if I can do this one-handed. I don't even know if you guys can see it. Actually, oops, that may work. That may work. Because I want the option to be able to, excuse me, put a coil in going the long way and going the short way. So either like that. If you have any thoughts, let me know. All right, so yeah, let me get these guys on and figure out a base setup. All right, buddy. So guys, really quick, I've made a decision. Yeah, because I'm going to use the bearing housings on both sides of the outer walls or the stand. I'm going to make it wide enough so that it will accept the sky bearing, the sky coil and my coil. So my coil is 5.5, but the sky coil is 6.5 with the terminal. Now I could move the terminal, but I don't want to mess with it. Because without the terminal, well, it's actually 6, so it's a 1/2 inch longer than mine. Yeah, and so with the terminal, it's about 6 and it's about 6 1/4, 6 3/8. I don't know why I'm using imperial. I always do everything in metric. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to make it at least 6.5 inches wide, which in metric is, what is that? 6.5. What is that? I don't know. Anyway, it's about 100 and something millimeters. Yeah, so because I'm going to put it on both sides, which will really support, and because that fiber, that what the hell is it called? The center pivot rod is carbon fiber. It's really stiff, so I think it'll be okay. All right, so I put on the bearing housings. Came out really nice. I did scratch up. So dumb. I should have left the paper on when I was doing all this, but I don't really care about that. But yeah, so here's A and here's B. And they will sit like this, so you guys can't see that. Hold on. Yep. Sit like this with the ceramic bearings in there. And I did decide to do it at about 6.5 inches apart. That carbon rod will be really strong, especially with the dual bearings on either side. All right. It came out really nice. I'm really excited about it. Now I just have to figure out a base. But if you know me, I have no patience. So what I'll probably do is put the bearings in, put the rotor on, and test it out. So as much as I want to keep this all plastic or acrylic for the housing, I think the base will be best served by this ultra straight plywood. It's a really thick, nice, straight piece. It'll help absorb some of the vibration. Yeah, I really don't want to do wood, but I can cut rabbets in here, or whatever they're called, mortises, or yeah, because the tenons, the part that goes in, yeah. So cut slots in there to fit these guys in nice and tight, and then put some, I would have to, wait a minute, because I would have to use wood for the support pieces. Now that I'm thinking this through, that might not be such a good idea. I'll have to introduce some sort of acrylic / wood support piece. You know, the triangle support the trusses. That would have to be wood, I think, because I don't really know how I would connect acrylic to the wood other than with a mortise. And I don't want to do mortises for the support pieces, the angled support pieces. Let me rethink this. So I settled on acrylic, and I have these two pieces right here that are thin, but I'm going to glue them together to make a nice thick base. My only concern, it's cosmetic, is when I put the glue down there, that it's not going to make these big blotchy stains, for lack of a better term, when I peel this top paper off. I don't want it to look like crap. I was thinking that if I put a dye in the glue and covered it, no, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. So I'm thinking I should use the acrylic glue, the number 16, because that's what it's made for. It's made for this stuff. And I don't know if it'll disappear when I sandwich it together or if it's going to leave a big blotch. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do a test piece. Duh. All right. Welcome back, guys. So here's the supports I'm going to use to hold these guys up. But so the test piece that I used to see if the acrylic, this number 16 acrylic glue or cement, whatever it's called, would make a nasty mark, and it kind of does. You really can't see it on an angle. But yeah, it's weird because if you look closely, I don't know if you can see, but there are clear spots all the way through like this. That's like all that is clear and that is not. So I can't really tell by looking at it if the part that's clear is the glued surface, which I believe it is, and the part that's not clear wasn't pressed down enough. But I think I'm going to do it anyway, regardless, because I need to, what I will do is I will put the glue only here and here, I think. Because I don't think I need it in the middle. Maybe I'll put a strip going down like that. Yeah, I'll just glue it up. So the way I laid this glue down was I used a sponge brush like this instead of using one of these regular glue brushes, because I thought maybe the sponge brush would put a cleaner film down. And it did. Technically, it did when I laid it down. But yeah, I think you can see on the angle there, you can see it's clear right here and over here. But then here and here, it's all disheveled. All right, it doesn't matter. I got to get this thing glued up. So that'll be the last thing I do today, unfortunately. As much as I want to cheat and get this thing going, I got to glue this and let it sit overnight. So really quick, I think I can glue the supports on before I glue that whole thing down to the base, because I have this ceramic plate that's completely flat. And I checked it, and that is 90 degrees. So I think I can do that kill two birds with one stone. While while the base is drying, I can glue these up, and then yeah, I'm a little bit closer. So I think what I'm going to do is it's going to mess up the nice acrylic look, but what I'm going to do is that acrylic glue is really good, but because I really can't clamp it, I already tried, and I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but I think I'm just going to use this to fasten it to the plate, and then once it's completely dry, I will drill two small holes on either side and countersink it and put some screws in there to hold it down. But it's looking good, man. And it's going to be for this monster right here. I got to get him off of there because my wife will come in here and do something crazy and mess it all up. Anyway, yeah. So 4 bearings. I have the base. So all that's needed now is I have to figure out what kind of spacers I'm going to use for this, for here. I'll have to do a little bit of math here to figure out what size. I already know what size diameter it'll have to be, but I'll make them really, really thin walled, probably about 1.5 millimeters. But I'll have to figure out the length, print those out, and then so the next time I'm recording, I should be doing a final assembly and first run. All right, stay tuned. Ciao.